So again, as forementioned, I wasn't a pet owner originally that was like, oh, let me wash my bowls every day. Like,
Right.
this is something important. Now that I know what I know, I wash them every day and multiple times a day. Every time they get fresh water, I'm washing their bowls. Because one at the end of the day, like we don't eat off dirty dishes. Like even if we go to get a drink, you know what I'm saying? Like we're probably getting a new cup and or we're rinsing out the one that we had if it's clean enough. So with that being said, I was just like, maybe I should do a little bit better for my dogs. And I realized that the bacteria that collects into bowls, it's like so that you'll get like a saliva film. A lot of people will feel it or see it in the water or whatever. If you don't wash that out, basically a lot of bacteria, harmful bacteria for your dog, will collect in that bowl over time. It can get worse. It can become, your dog can get sick, diarrhea, the gut health, anything like that can be thrown off. So that's why it's super important to wash the bowls. I personally feed raw. It's super important to wash and sanitize after, especially after raw food. Like kibble is one thing, but like raw food is it's not negotiable. You have to wash the bowls because otherwise raw food after a certain time of being exposed to a temperature that it's not supposed to, it becomes very harmful bacteria. So again, even when I see people doing raw prep, I'm like, some people aren't doing it right because again, like you have to keep this food on ice, cool, different things like that because this food has to stay at a safe temperature. I've also worked in a restaurant for since I was like 16. So like I know all this food safety stuff. So again, that's another important thing. If you're doing raw, you definitely have to wash your bowls because again, you'll get E. coli, different harmful bacteria, in those bowls if you don't wash them. Um, and another thing to note why I wash the bowls is, because so there's a couple different bowl options. Now, I used to use the plastic and the plastic they'll chew it up and you'll get like the the remnants kind of,
Right.
yeah, you can't really you can't get in there, you can't scrub it
Right.
or anything
Right.
like
Right.
that.
It's the little crevices and cracks that get
Exactly, once
created
they
from
start
chewing on the
chewing it
bowl.
up and it's like it's okay, it's a functional bowl, they can use it. um Another thing that's another thing, you really have to wash those type of bowls. I have a couple of those outside, but I stopped really using them and I got the big stainless steel at the Tractor Supply.
Right.
They're like I don't know, they hold a bunch of water, I don't know, they're like $16. But I got the big ones at Tractor Supply, or maybe they're 32, maybe the bigger ones, I don't know, I'm sorry, can't remember, too long ago. But I got those to wash out as well. But again, it's just long story short, stainless steel bowls, the ceramic they hold bacteria, the plastic they hold bacteria. Um, and if you have the plastic or the ceramic, you should really be washing twice as much as stainless steel, to be honest. And really, I would recommend against it. I do have a highlight on my story, on one of my stories on my page that literally highlights all the information. I think it's under helpful information, but it literally talks about washing bowls and the benefits and everything like that. So
All right, yeah, I had to bring that up. You kind of like famous. You kind of like famous out here
wash your bowls,
for washing bowls. No, for real though, you kind of
wash your
famous for that
bowls.
though. But that's a good thing though. You bringing awareness to the community for us, like the cleanliness of these bowls. A lot of people take that stuff for granted. Like you said, it's lots of bacteria, like even like Giardia, like you said about like the saliva and stuff like that. That's where that Giardia and
Yep,
stuff
the
actually
poop
be
getting
getting
in the
created in.
water and.
Yeah. So
And actually, when I volunteered for a wildcat sanctuary, because like I said, I got you know animal care in different fields. Um, the ODNR, which is the Ohio Division of Wildlife or whatever, they actually had to come and make sure that the water bowls for these bobcats, cougars, like all these, like the foxes, everything they had, they were making sure that we were washing their bowls. So like I was going into these pens, grabbing water bowls, servals growling at me. I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna lose my hand today? Like using a broom trying to scoop the water bowl toward me just to wash it. But yeah, it's like when you're like a licensed kennel, that's something they're gonna look for is washed bowls. So, and bowls that are maintained, not, you know, bowls that are all
Right,
chewed
right.
up and stuff like that. So